as Alexa said, today is extremely important. I know that it's so difficult to, tell an incredible story about who you are, what your business is, and why it's important, right? Why you are meant to be here in this program and get the attention, of others around your business. And so hopefully today's class will help you understand a framework, that is a beginning point to really creating something very concise and succinct about who you are, why this business is something you created, and the solutions that you're providing in the marketplace. Okay. And so I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself in a way that I want you to introduce yourself very shortly. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. And I'm just pulling up my notes here because I can't do it on the computer. All right. So I remember the day that I left my demanding 9-to-5 job to run home with just enough time to kiss my 2 kids, change into another business suit, and head across town in rush hour traffic for a minimum of an hour to my side hustle. Except that on this day, I didn't make it. On this day, I had a figurative and literal wake-up call. You see, I woke up to having fallen asleep at the wheel and crashed into the vehicle in front of me. I was completely shocked and full of shame. I hadn't listened to that little voice whispering to me for months now, saying that I was overdoing it, that I was burning the candle at both ends, not focusing on my big rocks, and not doing something, and rather doing something that I knew wasn't even aligned with my true purpose. Yes, on this day, I woke up and changed my life. My name is Monique Renee, and I'm the founder of Fierce and Flowing. I work with women leaders and entrepreneurs to help them design their purpose and peace-driven lives and careers, grounded in ancient wisdom and practical strategies that allow them to feel fiercely successful and live in flow. Okay, so that is who I am, and that is my why. And so a big part of telling your story and crafting your unique value proposition is really being super clear in an enticing way and an interesting way, a curious way about why you created your business, why you're doing what you're doing. Okay. I actually like to call this, if I could change it from UVP to USP, it would be your superpower. And that is what you want to uncover today. And it's key, right? Because you have a short window to really capture the attention of these judges, okay, in your pitch and get them to connect with who you are and why you've created what you've created, okay? And if you can do that, then the rest of your pitch is going to be super, super easy and very black and white, okay? So what I want to do very quickly is get you into a breakout session, okay? Now, before we do that, you see the agenda right in front of you, okay? We're going to first begin to talk about how to craft and tell a compelling story, okay? And we're going to talk about the hero's journey. And probably some of you have heard about what the hero's journey is. We're going to go deep into the hero's journey today, okay? You're going to have an opportunity to craft your hero's journey. We're also going to look at the canvas that creates a unique value proposition, okay? And you're going to have time to create that unique value proposition and get feedback from each other along the way, okay? And then we're going to wrap it up. So that is what we're doing today. Okay, so let's see. I just need to advance the slide here. All right, so let's jump into our first icebreaker, okay? And this is for you guys to support each other and to give you an opportunity to really craft that introduction, who you are and what is your why, okay? Just like I did a few minutes ago. So before we jump into our groups, I want to take 2 minutes right now. Okay, I'm going to set a timer. And I want to take 2 minutes to give you time to jot down as best as you can your quick why story, just like I did. Okay. And let me know if there are any questions before we do that. Are we all clear on what we're doing in these 2 minutes? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 minutes on the clock. Hold on. All right. And in silence on your own time, go ahead and craft your quick why story as your introduction. And I'll be then in your group. I want each of you in your group to take 1 minute to share your succinct why story and introduce yourself that way. Okay. And I remember when I shared a story, right, that led to my transformation. You can use I remember when as a template, or you can use a different introduction. It's up to you. Okay. And then here's the important part. After you've shared your why story, I want all of you in your group to give feedback to this person. Okay. And I want you to comment on how did you feel, right? What did you physically feel when you heard their why story? And do you feel it was compelling enough? If it was, share with them why you felt it was compelling. If it wasn't, be honest, right? We want to work on this. Let them know how it could be more compelling. Okay, this is the kind of specific feedback I want you all to give to each other. Okay, and then right before 15 minutes is up, I want you as a group to vote on the most effective why story. And each of you in those groups is going to come back and share your why story with the entire group. Okay, are we clear? Can I get some thumbs ups? Yes, excellent. I saw a few of you do that. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and have you all broken out now into your groups, and you're going to have 15 minutes for this exercise. Like if this was you were presenting your pitch, okay? So let's go to room number 1. Who is the winner of room number 1? Jump on in here.
Nice to meet you. My name is Paula.
Hi, how are you? Okay.
Paula is having some technical
having-
difficulties.
Okay.
She's coming in and out. Is there anybody who can speak on her behalf as she's trying to get her audio and everything together?
Or perhaps let's jump to the other groups and maybe she can text her why story to one of her group members and they can read it for her. Maybe that would work. All right, so let's move on to group number 2. Who's our winner?
Our winner had to step out for a little bit, so maybe we can circle back at the end to see if she's back with us, or I don't know if Elmer wants to go instead.
Okay, let's circle back, and if she's not back, then yeah, then let's have Elmer do it. Okay, group number 3.
So group number 3.
We're in group number
Oh,
3.
we are group number 3.
Yes.
Well, I think we heard about Michelle, Stacy, and Martha. We didn't have a chance, to hear, but actually, Stacy, I think is the winner.
Okay, all right. I love the action. Just take an action. Great. Let's hear from Stacy. Stacy,
oh my goodness, what happened to my face? Why am I looking black and white? What are these patches? Oh my God. I don't want to go to physical training today. As a military veteran, it was so difficult to get the natural products that I needed. I was in the desert. The sun was affecting me. The dermatologist said I had seborrheic dermatitis. My face was looking a mess, and I didn't even want to go outside. I remember like it was yesterday. And it wasn't until I went back home to my Caribbean nation and my grandmother created a concoction that was the answer to my skin woes. This concoction was like joy and happiness to me because it helped my skin become better in a matter of months. And from that, Stacy's Naturals was born. Hi, I'm Stacy, a military veteran who helps heroes boost with sensitive skin, boost their confidence through my handmade creations.
That was so good. You had everybody on their toes in the beginning, like, what's happening? What's happening? So much passion. So it's such a personal story, right? And we all have personal stories, and that's what I really want you to leave with today, okay? That there is a personal story in each of your companies and the creation of your businesses. Stacy, I love it. And also connecting it back to your childhood, to your heritage, your ancestry. Love it, love it. Excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
So let's go to, let's do group number 4. Group number 4. Who was our winner?
There are 3 groups.
Oh, we had 3 groups. Okay, perfect. So let's go to Elmer, unless we've got group number 2's winner back.
No, she's not back yet. She had
Okay.
to, yeah.
All right. So Elmer, you're up.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. So I'm Elmer Cantor. I'm the founder of SBB New York. 5 years experience in the printing industry, and all started before COVID. We had with a friend. He had a business for doing the booth for trade shows. So he needed invest on an equipment, a printer, and so we more or less joined. So we created a company. I invested on a 90,000 printer, state of the art UV printer, landed 4x8. And with that printer, we are able to capable of printing on various substrates like cardboard, glass, acrylic, PVCs, plastic, wood. So we begin working, but then because our final plan was trade shows with COVID hit the first year, 2 years been closed for trade shows, so there was no market for it. So then working on ideas for to put this printer to work, and liking the interior decorations and remodeling, look for a trend and find this trend that's for backsplash. So backsplash for kitchens and bathrooms. So now as SB Modern Decor, we offer a paper glass backsplash, the latest innovation, and glass backsplashes with technology, and create great spaces. You can personalize your masterpiece. It's modern and sleek for your kitchen, and it's scratch resistant, heat resistant, hygienic, no crowd, easy to install. So that's what we're working on, and the printing process is limited. You can have anything that you can have in your mind, a pattern, a dish, a forest, anything. You can see a sample there on the back of the backsplash for a kitchen, and that's what we're working on. So
Thank you, Elmer. Thank you. You were cutting in and out, so I wasn't able to hear all of it.
Yeah, sorry, my normal piece headphones damaged, and I took another piece, and it's not working so well. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Thank you. I think I got the gist of what your business is about. I love that you're sharing the uniqueness of the technology, how it's different. We're going to get into that with the unique selling proposition. And the only advice I'm going to give you, because I wasn't able to hear the beginning. So I apologize if you did kind of hone in on that, but I want you to connect more of your personal story of why this business is so important to you with the purpose of the business. Does that make sense? Okay,
Thank you.
excellent. Thank you, Elmer. Okay. All right. So do we have a final or are we, let's see. I think someone else had to leave. Okay. In interest of time, I'm going to move us forward. Okay. So thank you for those of you who shared, and thank you for those wonderful examples. What I'm going to do now is show you a video about the hero's journey. I'm sure many of you know and have heard about what a hero's journey is. And those are going to come out in your stories. They're going to come out in your whys, and they're really at the crux of why you started doing what you're doing, right? There was something that happened in your life, in your experience, that got you to think about creating this business and making an impact in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so I'm going to pull up this video. I'm going to stop my share for 1 second. Okay, and let me go to the first video. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and play that.
What do Harry
Let me know if
Potter,
you can hear it.
Katniss Everdeen, and Frodo all have in common with the heroes of ancient myths? What if I told you they are all variants of the same hero? Do you believe that? Joseph Campbell did. He studied myths from all over the world and published a book called The Hero with a Thousand Faces, retelling dozens of stories and explaining how each represents the monomyth or hero's journey. So, what is the hero's journey? Think of it as a cycle. The journey begins and ends in the hero's ordinary world, but the quest passes through an unfamiliar, special world. Along the way, there are some key events. Think about your favorite book or movie. Does it follow this pattern? Status quo, that's where we start. 1 o'clock, call to adventure. The hero receives a mysterious message, an invitation, a challenge. 2 o'clock, assistance. The hero needs some help, probably from someone older, wiser. 3 o'clock, departure. The hero crosses the threshold from his normal, safe home and enters the special world and adventure. We're not in Kansas anymore. 4 o'clock, trials. Being a hero is hard work. Our hero solves a riddle, slays a monster, escapes from a trap. 5 o'clock, approach. It's time to face the biggest ordeal, the hero's worst fear. 6 o'clock, crisis. This is the hero's darkest hour. He faces death and possibly even dies, only to be reborn. 7 o'clock, treasure. As a result, the hero claims some treasure, special recognition, or power. 8 o'clock, result. This can vary between stories. Do the monsters bow down before the hero, or do they chase him as he flees from the special world? 9 o'clock, return. After all that adventure, the hero returns to his ordinary world. 10 o'clock, new life. This quest has changed the hero. He has outgrown his old life. 11 o'clock, resolution. All the tangled plot lines get straightened out. 12 o'clock, status quo, but upgraded to a new level. Nothing is quite the same once you're a hero. Many popular books and movies.
All right, I'm going to stop there. Okay. Okay, so the hero's journey, let me go back to the presentation real quick here. All right. Okay, this is a lot of clicking going on here. Sorry. All right, so in the hero's journey, what you're experiencing is the background story of your why. Okay. There's something that you have gone through, something that perhaps someone else in your life has gone through, that has been the reason why you're doing this business, why you created this product, right? And sometimes it can feel difficult to really come to that understanding, right? And so for some of you, it's going to be easy. Like Stacy, you have a great hero's journey. Okay. It's very clear for you why you created what you created. For others of you, maybe it was just, an incident that happened that brought along a bright idea. Okay. I still want you to think about your product and the journey of your product and the solution and why a hero is going to be created in this journey. Okay. Whether it's that you're the hero in starting this business, or you're making your clients the heroes, because their life is going to be different and changed after using your product or service. Okay. And this is the connection that I really want all of you to make. Okay. So I'm going to show you an example of a story based on a brand that we all know. And I want you all to kind of follow that person's hero's journey so that you can really reach some clarity around the hero's journey and connect it back to yours, which again is a critical part of your pitch. All right, so let me stop share again. Okay, this is a wonderful brand example of a hero's journey, right? And I'd love to hear from some of you. Did you see the different steps of June's hero's journey? Anybody want to share what they saw in it?
Yes. Can I speak?
Yes, of course. Jump on in here.
Okay, I saw the video. It was very, very amazing video because I think she learned everything because she had a mistake. Never give up and follow the step that she need to learn, and she did. But after that, the follow step is the maybe grateful because it's like a shame and a favor. It's a movie that is the similar thing that you put in your video.
Yes.
You know what is the movie?
Which one?
Cadena de favores. I don't know in English how
No.
it's. Oh my God, it's very like this video because you never see, or maybe you don't see the opportunity in what in what mistake that you have, or make mistake, and only you need to learn from the scratch or from yourself, or maybe ask somebody else and help you. And she when they stay in the oh my God, en la nieve, en la nieve.
Yeah, in the snow, yeah.
Snow. Yeah, sorry.
Thank
And
you.
the snow. She did like it's very close, and the customer or the client is the Uber is here. Maybe I can go to he know about she because before she did a drive for him, and
Thank you.
go to he go to
Thank you for sharing. Do you all see the before and after, right? How clear it is? Like what was her hero's journey? If somebody were to kind of summarize her hero's journey, does anybody want to take a stab at it? Who's bold enough to take a stab at?
Now, I was in you all's group, so I know you all understand. I have hyped you up to be very communicative. Do not embarrass me today. I will violently call. I will do
What
it.
is her why?
I think
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me very good
Yes.
with this earphones or this mic. I think she got a problem. She was afraid to go in front of that problem that she had. And that's that everybody feels with our businesses. I'm doing the right thing. I'm going the right way. I should be doing these. Everything is a nerve-wracking part of the process. But then she took the courage and helped by her friends, her daughter, and she became she saw a problem and that she could help, and so she began there.
Yeah.
More or less, I got it.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Elmer. And in a video that I'm going to show you in just a little bit, we're going to really connect it. Oh, Stacy, did you want to say something? Please go ahead.
Yes, I would say in addition, it was a cycle of goodness because she had a reputation for being an excellent driver, providing great service, and that's what triggered the client to know something was wrong. And he went looking for her, and because she was such a good, giving such good to the community, it came back to her, and they went and they helped her. So it was just a cycle of goodness.
A cycle of goodness, a cycle of giving. Absolutely. And Lyft is a company that is known for building community, right? And that's how they differentiate themselves among other driving services like Uber. Okay. And what I'd love for you to pull away from this story is that, in the very beginning, she was super connected to this vehicle because it was her husband's vehicle, right? And he obviously had passed away, and it was her only memento, but she was very alone in life. She didn't have any community. And because of Lyft and the opportunity that Lyft gave her to be a driver, she was able to not only, put peace to the fact that she didn't have that car anymore, but she was able to, change her life completely and start to build community, give service and receive service. Okay. So that is the complete hero's journey, right? Something big happens, okay, or something that you pay attention to in your life. Someone comes in and kind of supports you, okay, and then you're able to make a change and really elevate your life and also provide a service of value to someone. Okay, so that's kind of what I want you guys to hold on to walk away from this example, because this is what you want to go back to your business and be very clear about. Okay, so the next exercise that we're going to do is taking this hero's journey, and you may want to take a screenshot of this slide, okay, for the next activity. Is we're going to simplify the hero's journey. Okay, instead of 12 steps, we're going to bring it down to 5 steps. Okay, and this is going to help you to craft your pitch. Okay, so number 1, you want to set the scene. Okay, what is causing a change in your customer's world? Okay, very important. Number 2, you want to create that conflict. What was the conflict that happened in your life or someone else's life that made the difference in you providing this business, okay, this product or service? Okay, so what challenge does your client face in the world? Okay, then what's the big idea that came from that, right? How are you addressing the challenge? Number 4, what is the solution? How are you solving the problem through your product or service, right? You want to be really clear on who you're servicing, okay, what their challenge is, and what is the solution that you provide because of your why that we started with, okay? And then the last thing is differentiation, okay? Why are you uniquely positioned to help them? What makes you different? Why your product? Why your service? Okay, so hopefully you got a screenshot of this. This is taking the whole hero's journey and kind of shrinking it for you, okay? And now what I want to do is to give you an opportunity to outline your journey, okay? To go through those 5 steps very clearly and concisely, okay? So what I'm going to do right now is, let me stop share for 1 second because I just want to double check the timing of this exercise that I'm giving you. One sec. I'm going to give you a few minutes, 5 minutes, to kind of outline your journey. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and partner you so that you can share your journey and get feedback from each other. Okay. I'll be beginning to see, right? Is that we're building. Okay. It's like building a domino stack, right? Your why. Why you? Why this business? Why is it important? Okay. Why is it important that others know about your business? Okay. Number 2, what is the story? What is the hero's journey behind it? How is it changing somebody's life in some way, shape, or form? Okay. So connecting you to your business, to the customer. Okay. We need to see that journey in your pitches. Okay. And now we're going to begin to talk about going deeper with the value, really being able to pull out. And in many cases, for some of you who have already been around for a while, to kind of prove the value that you're giving and how you're different from other companies that do the same thing. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your unique value proposition. Okay. And I'm going to show you the last video in this series to kind of wrap up this little story about, I wanted to say Uber and it's not Uber, right? I'm breaking the rules here. Lyft. All right. So let me stop share, pull that video up. Hopefully it will go smoother this time. Let's see. Okay. Let's close that. Let's close that. All right. Let me try now. We have share sound on. Okay. All right. Are we seeing it? No, I'm sorry. Gang, give me 1 second. I apologize. Here we go. Okay. This must be that storm out there. Brewing.
For the last half century, we've built cities around cars. No one even thought about the economic environment.
Sorry, I want to start it from the beginning. Here we go. Okay.
Sometimes the best thing to do is look at it through the eyes of a kid. Well, there's this nice kid, Logan, and he's really into cars. But not because they're fast, big, loud, and shoot flames. In Logan's world, cars were slow. I'm talking Betty White in ankle weights slow.
You know what? For the last half century, we've built cities around cars. No one even thought about the economic, environmental, and social problems they were going to cause in the future.
So there's this other nice kid, John Z. No, not that kid. Yeah, this little dude. He's a real people person, always trying to bring people together. But he's thinking,
When we're shut off in our cars, we're shut off from each other. We weren't meant to live stuck on highways in zombie mode.
Yeah. What if we could create the next form of transportation? Something that can solve some of the big issues while connecting people on the way.
These kids got to work, researching all types of public transportation. Ferries, buses, trains, all kinds of trains. And while all these inventions held incredible promise, everything was stuck on a fixed route. So they started thinking, how might people create their own network with their own vehicles? The way combis work in Zimbabwe, a network of private cars for everyone that can go anywhere.
Maybe we could put the power of sharing rides directly into people's hands.
Drivers with spare seats should be able to share them. Make extra money, get paid on their own terms.
One little tap should get passengers a friendly ride, door to door, and help reduce environmental impact.
And we'll give out giant pink mustaches for the front of every car.
Whoa, cowboy. I think you need to take care of some personal grooming. That's better. So in 2012, these two transportation-obsessed little freaks started Lyft, the very first peer-to-peer ride-sharing community. And right away, people started to join the revolution, sharing music, stories, dad jokes, hair tips, peaceful contemplation. Artists were driving to support their dreams. Students were using the app to get to school and to pay for school. We had sandwich makers and sushi chefs, lawyers and lesbians, astronauts and Democrats and Republicans, walk of shamers. Hey, good for you. A ride for every reason, for everyone. Their idea caught on as far as the eye could see, and cities began to reshape themselves for a new generation. Access to affordable rides made distances smaller. Car ownership became obsolete. Shared vehicles breezed through greener spaces faster than ever before. And honking became strictly reserved for saying hello. You know what? Kids do love cars. And in the not-so-distant future, there's going to be another couple crazy kids connecting in the back of a Lyft, thinking up the next big idea that changes the world. That would be pretty cool.
Okay, so let me get out of that. Stop share. And let's go back to the presentation. Okay, so quick question, and I'd love to hear from some of you. You can put it in the chat. Again, if anybody had raised their hand or if anybody was speaking and I didn't hear you, I apologize. Let me go ahead and play this.
I said more sustainable way of driving or
Yes,
transportation.
definitely. They're here to change the world, change the environment. That was a big part of the value that they offer. Excellent. What else?
I would like to add that they want to do that through serving as a sense of community.
Yes, definitely. Community is huge for them. In fact, they want to be able to change the world, and they're hoping that the conversations that happen in these vehicles are going to ignite ideas that change the world, right? Excellent. Yeah, those are definitely a couple of the important values that we see that Lyft created. Okay, and there's a few others. They want people to be able to make money. They want people to not be stuck on certain, transits. They want to create opportunities for drivers, but also opportunities for other people, right? So there's a whole value chain created here. And that's what I want you guys to think about, okay? Your value proposition is a very succinct, clear statement of the value that you provide, okay? And this is the canvas. And so again, if you want to take a screenshot of this right now, okay, because I am going to ask you to kind of start jotting down the components of your value proposition canvas today before we wrap up today, okay? So this is what we're looking for in a value proposition, okay? You need to know who your ideal prospects are, okay? You need to understand the pressing problem that you address for these ideal prospects, okay? You also need to be clear on the outcomes. What are the results that you're delivering, right? We want to make sure that your company is achieving outcomes and results, okay, that are measurable. And I want to say measurable again, because that's really important. In addressing your business and sharing your business are the outcomes and measurable results that you've already achieved, okay? You also want to look at alternatives and speak to your alternatives and substitutes. This is your competition, okay? Why is your solution different than theirs? And why are you the best choice? Okay? And finally, you want to be able to show and demonstrate that difference. A great way to do that is through testimonials, okay? So if we look at the canvas, you always want to start with the customer. What are their wants? What are their fears? What are their needs? Okay. And all of that is going to drive the experience they're going to receive through your product or service okay? And you need to be clear in a very succinct way what those features are and what the benefits are, okay? I'm going to give you an example of a value proposition, okay? So B2B Marketing Plus works with B2B companies that have long sales cycles to increase sales productivity. Unlike companies that make cold calls for you or develop lead generation campaigns, we use our revenue accelerator methodology. This is what makes them different. To make sure you get the right message to the right person at the right time about the right solution and motivate them to act. As is evident from our client testimonials, or as is evident from our, measured outcomes, right? So you can do that. You can show the evidence in different ways, okay? But this is a succinct value proposition that you need to be ready to either share as part of your story, or that's going to go in one of your pitch slides in the very beginning. Boom, boom, boom. This is who I am. This is my why. This is my mini hero's journey. And this is the value that I offer. Yes? Are we kind of clear on this whole little process that we've gone through today? Excellent. So in the next few minutes, and I know we're running a little bit behind because—
Can you just repeat that last thing one more time?
Yes, of course. This slide here?
Yeah, like how you closed it. This is my why. This is
Yes, of course. So we started with our why, right? This is who I am. This is my why, right? This is my mini hero's journey. Those 5 little components that you worked on in the last group pairing. And this is the value that I offer. Okay. Believe me, if you do this right and you practice and you scale it down, because right now, you can probably fit all of this into a page. Your role is to get this down to where you can cover your why, your little journey, and your value in 1 minute. Yeah, it can be done. And that's what I want you to leave with today, right? Perhaps right now, there's a lot there. You want to work in these next few days up until your pitch to get it down to a 1 minute opening that really brings together all of these 3 components. Does that make sense? That's the challenge for all of you. And I want you to have fun with it. Remember that this is at the core and at the foundation of why you're doing what you're doing. This is not new to you. What may be new to you is just formulating it in a way that's very concise and direct. Okay? And including that passion, that purpose, okay? And that little story that's going to get them to pay attention to you and to your business. Okay? And that's really what we're after. Okay? So I'm going to, because in the interest of time, I'm going to give this to you as homework, okay? And I still want you guys to reach out to each other if you need feedback, or your coaches, okay? But I want you to work on completing that canvas, okay? So once again, if you need to take a photo of this, or the team can send this to you, okay? This is what I want you to work on, okay? And then once you have worked on all of these components, I want you to try to get to a 1 minute concise opening statement that includes your why, your hero's journey, and the value that you offer. Okay? So here are some basics to kind of remember in closing, okay? And then we may have some time for some questions. You want to make sure that it's very distinctive, right? This is the value I offer, and this is what my clients are receiving. You want to be very clear on that, okay? You want to be able to show the measurable, quantifiable, numbers behind your success, okay? You'll get questions about that if you don't include it, okay? And it doesn't have to be long. It could be super you know, from my first year to my second year, you know, we were able to grow our clientele by 25%, 50%, our revenues by 80%, whatever. Show some measurable outcomes and benefits. Okay. Again, defendable. You want to provide evidence that you're different. You want to provide evidence that what you have created is providing value, okay, in the marketplace, and that it's something that's needed right now, okay? And then that it's sustainable, that whatever you have built can stand the test of time, can be delivered consistently, and can grow, right? That it's not just what you have now, but you can show how you want to grow this product or service, okay? And we show value that way, through growth. Okay, and then finally, just some tips on, you know, effectively communicating, right? Because at the end of the day, this is about you presenting yourself and communicating. So you have to know your audience and you have to know your customer really, really well, okay? You want to bring some emotion, some vulnerability into your pitch, and the hero's journey and your why are going to help you to do that, okay? You want to be able to create a visual in their mind, right? That's why in my story, I took them through the actual accident that I had, okay? So it's a real story, okay? You want to make your why clear. You want to show that there is possibility in what you're offering. We talked about differentiation. Be clear, concise, and effective in your language. You want to remove anything that's extra that's not necessary, okay? And practice, practice, practice. Practice with a partner, practice in the mirror, okay? You want to look at yourself, you want to smile, you want to be excited about what you're presenting, okay? So I'm going to stop share at this time and see if there are any questions before we wrap up. All right.
Monique, I'm going to ask, if you don't mind, if you can leave the tips up while they have questions.
Yes, absolutely. My pleasure. Okay, let's do that.
And I believe Elmer had his hand up for a question.
Hi, Elmer. Yes, your question.
Work with the data, information, sales. If there is a new product, we haven't really put it into the market. We're trying to do it. How we approach that?
Yeah, and that's a great question. Okay, so that's why your why and your hero's journey and the value that you hope to give to this customer that has a need is really important. You want to sell it as much as you can. You also want to be able to share how you're going to measure your success. Yes. So if you don't have success just yet, you want to show and discuss, this is how I plan to measure the success, right? And if maybe you have a pilot group starting or a pilot promotion starting, you want to share that that's happening soon. Okay. So you want to just involve them in your process so far and keep them excited. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're so welcome. Okay, any other questions?
You all, please take advantage of this time. As you can see, what we discussed yesterday in terms of the concerns that you all had around your pitch. Monique is addressing all of it at this time. So any questions you have for her, I encourage you to write it in the chat. If you're not able to unmute, write it in the chat so we can try to get it addressed, or ask her. Please take advantage of this time, you all.
So I do see a question in the chat. Okay, so what did the other 2 minutes consist of? This is where you're really talking about your product or service. Okay, so the kinds of things you want to share with them are your market research, right? Why are you targeting this niche of individuals? Why do they need this? Okay, if you've had successes so far, you want to spend some time showing those successes. If you've had growth, you want to show the growth in revenue or in clients. You're so welcome, Jessica. And Smart Dental Solutions, thank you. You want to, any metrics, research, and forecasting are really critical in those last 2 minutes, okay? I would include testimonials if you have them. Those are really, really important. They really kind of prove that your product or service is working and that people want it, okay? So those are some of the things that you want to include. You will probably get questions on your financials if you're a company that's been around for a while, okay? Or if not, your forecast is really critical. So even if you don't address the finances in those 3 minutes, you want to make sure to have those finances with you so that you can address any questions that you're getting, okay? And if it's around investment, how are you going to use the money? You need to know how you're going to use any money that you raise, okay? You need to be clear on what your key indicators of success are going to be in your business, okay? So those are really the important things. Oh, last thing. If you have any other individuals who are part of your management team, it's important to share that. Or if you have support, right? Or like a board of directors, it's great to show that you're not the only person, okay? Working in your business, that you have others who are behind you and that you're ready to hire, okay? So those are other questions that you may receive.